Today we're watching... The movie opens with one of the best songs of the past century, Money for Nothing, Chicks for Free, playing over a helicopter raid of what looks to be a Middle Eastern fortress. The operation seems to be a success as the camera pans in, finally catching up to the action. The operatives have their target tied up, but then the target pulls a pin on a grenade. One of the men jump onto the grenade, sacrificing himself to save everybody else. And then they're just standing around like, whoops, dang, my bad guys, I missed that one. He looks at one of the other men and goes, well, a position just opened up if you'd like to fill it. Yeah, for me personally, I'll pass. But thanks for the job offer. So the guy that missed the grenade goes to the house of the agent that died, presents the now widowed wife with the Medal of Valor, noting carefully that there's a number on the back. They could use it to call at any time for any favor, no limits. But she doesn't want that. She wants a husband back. So instead he gives it to her son Eggsy, a boy now going to grow up without a father figure. But I'm sure he'll turn out fine. Now with a dope transition through a snow globe, we get to a house up in the snowy Alps. And oh my god, is that Luke Skywalker?
You've made a mistake. I'm a university lecturer. I've got no money.
Oh, my mistake. I had you confused with someone else. And there's a knocking at the door. Just a nearby neighbor that wants to borrow a cup of sugar.
I suppose asking to borrow a cup of sugar is a step too far.
Yeah, that's highly unlikely given that this guy has a gun. And dang, he's going ham with such a dope fight scene. The choreography in this movie is top notch. Like, God, look at this. And stylish to boot. He's like, Professor, I'm here to take you home. Then there's someone else knocking at the door, and there's no way he would fall for his own trick, right? Ooh, okay, Neospore, not gonna fix that one, bud. So this maid that's now covering up all these bodies is a henchman, and she has knives for feet. Just let that IDSL in there. And who's that at the door? I need to know. Oh my god, it's Nick Fury? He apologizes to the professor and says he'll figure out who their unwanted guest works for. Cut to who the unwanted guest works for. A tailor company known as the Kingsman, who are just now having a toast around a table in honor of their dead colleague. Arthur, who is the head of the Kingsman, asks all the agents to get a candidate ready to replace Lancelot. Then we get introduced to Merlin. Merlin is a real one, bruh. Merlin gives us a rundown of what happened at the cabin. He was surveilling them when he became aware of a kidnapping, but the professor is seen walking around London still, so something sus is afoot. The mission is assigned to Galahad, who receives a little bit of sass from Arthur for picking a candidate that wasn't exactly high class last time, even though his candidate literally saved multiple lives by jumping on a grenade. So I wonder who his next candidate's gonna be. Gonna be Eggsy, of course. Oh, who ended up growing up with the father figure, even if the father figure was a bastard of a man. Now Eggsy's down at the local pub. He's chatting up with his mates. They're talking about how his mom's so fit. Eggsy says one day he's gonna smash Dean's face in. His buddy says, are you mental?
You just get that lot to do you? You think you can chat shit about us so we won't do nothing just because our governor's banging Eggsy's mum? You boys have outstayed your welcome. Leave. I'm sorry about that, bruv.
Basically, because he was chatting about Dean, his goons kicked him out of the pub. But then he's like, why are we walking? Literally stole his car keys and does donuts in his face. They end up getting chased by some cops, and when they inevitably crash, he tells his friends to run while he rams into the cop car. At the police station, he dials up the number on his medal, and he gets out scot-free. When he's walking out of the station, Galahad, aka Harry, says, I'm the man that got you released. And because this is Britain, they go to a pub. He tells Eggsy about his father, how he was a brave man that saved his life. But then he starts going in on Eggsy, how he wasted his potential. Then those goons show back up, and they're like,
What are you doing here? You taking a piss?
Some more examples of young men who simply need a silver suppository.
Nah, there are exceptions. Come on.
Then probably the most iconic scene from this movie starts.
You should get out of the way, Granddaddy. You'll get hurt and all.
Manners maketh man. Do you know what that means? Then let me teach you a lesson.
And then just another insane example of how awesome the choreography in these movies is. The fighting and action is just phenomenal. This movie is worth watching just for the action scenes alone. Harry quickly takes out all the goons.
Sorry about that. Needed to let off a little steam.
When Eggsy goes home, Dean asks very politely who is the guy that beat up all of his goons. Before it goes too far, Harry intervenes with an intercom that he bugged on Eggsy. Eggsy gets out of there with some hardcore parkour. Eggsy meets Harry at the tailor. Eggsy's like, I wanna know what the fuck's going on. With an exposition dump, Harry basically says, Kingsman tailors are actually spies.
Like a spy of sorts. The suit is a modern gentleman's armor. The Kingsman agents are the new knights.
Take a super fast transport all the way to the Kingsman HQ. Merlin addresses all the candidates, and it's very clear who stands out the most here. Merlin says, collect the body bag, write your name and next of kin on it. All the other young chaps basically judge Eggsy really quickly. Basically because he wasn't born with a silver spoon up his arse. They write him off really quick.
Did you serve me at the McDonald's in Winchester Service Station?
Let's quickly check in on the villain. What's he doing? Oh, he's talking with Obama. The cadets are all sleeping in their quarters at night, and suddenly, the room starts to fill up with water. Everyone starts freaking out in a panic, but they have the bright idea to use shower hoses and toilets to make an infinite air supply. I don't know how this works, but it does, I guess. Eggsy says, I'm not trying to breathe in toilet air, so he starts bashing at the mirror because he thinks it's a two-way mirror. And he successfully gets through. Merlin congratulates them, but really he considers the test as a whole a fail. They forgot about the most important thing, teamwork. And it pans over as they all slowly realize that someone actually just died during that. I think the body bags wasn't just a scare tactic. Now we have Harry going over to meet the professor, the one that was supposedly kidnapped. He claims he wasn't kidnapped. He has no idea what he's talking about. But as Harry presses on, the professor starts screeching out in pain, and his face just explodes all over him. Ugh. Turns out Valentine set off an explosive implant in the professor's head. I goddamn love Professor Arnold. Both sound like Mike Tyson, but they're like, the good news is we know the system works. You know what's not good news?
My colleague died.
Back over to the cadets. Their day one of training is picking out a puppy. And of course, Eggsy gets a pug when he thinks it's a bulldog. Now we see a bit of his training. Oh, it's cute. He's running with his puppy. And we see Valentine's production of what looks like microchips is going really well, as they are mass producing these things, but we don't know why yet. But we do know his plan revolves around getting political figures like the President of the United States and this princess and this prime minister from a Scandinavian country. Oh, the princess calls him an insane lunatic and runs away to get her guards to help her. But Knives for Feet Lady makes swift work of these guards. And the Prime Minister gets an implant put in his head as he's officially part of the team. Back at HQ, they're looking at how the professor's head got blown up, and the IP address of the chip goes back to Richmond Valentine, who they don't know yet is obviously the villain. Eggsy says he's a genius. Have you not seen his announcement today? His plan is to give away cell phone chips for free. They give away free cellular plan. I'm not sure how well this goes as a business plan, but as an evil plan, this is his key element. Now to another training exercise. Skydiving! They're all having fun until Merlin tells them,
Like what to do when one of your group has no parachute.
One by one, they pull their chutes until there's just 2 of them left. They're actually able to manage inside the target zone and come in below the radar. And now everybody's eliminated except for 3 from that one exercise. For the people that are skydiving the first time, I don't think this is the best judge of who's the best candidate. Eggsy's a bit riled up though. He asks why he was the one that didn't have a parachute. He's thinking they didn't give him a parachute because he's the most expendable one. Merlin very quickly shuts him up.
Take that chip off your shoulder.
Harry goes undercover to Valentine's house to have a meeting with him, trying to figure out more to his plan. They bond over their McDonald's dinner by talking about spy movies. It's actually pretty clear that Valentine knows what's up and Harry knows what's up, and they both think they have the upper hand. Meanwhile, around the world, 1 billion SIM cards have already been dealt out. The cadets' next mission is to pick up this girl and get some information from her. But they all fail because their drinks have all been drugged. Eggsy wakes up tied down to train track. With a threat of a train approaching, he's told to give up all the information he knows about Kingsman, but he says he'd rather die than say anything. And it's revealed this was all just a test. Harry says Roxy passed, and Charlie's up next if you want to watch. And of course, Charlie being Charlie gives up all the information he knows. And I think Arthur's a bit disappointed. They're congratulated on being the final 2, and Eggsy's told that his father made it this far. But from now on, there's no more safety net. Yeah, maybe somebody should have told Eggsy's father that. Eggsy is finally taken to the tailor to get his suit. But first, he gets shown the armory, as he needs a new pair of shoes to go along with the suit. Maybe shoes with a hidden knife in the sole.
Now do your very best impersonation of a German aristocrat's formal greeting. No, Eggsy.
That is sick.
He's also showed a couple other gadgets, like a pen with poison ink in it, and a lighter that's actually a hand grenade.
Shut up.
When they're finally done in the armory, guess who's in the tailor? Freaking Richmond Valentine. Said he was so impressed with this suit, he had to get his own. But really, he put a tracker in Harry's wine, and he found him here. Harry suggests to him that he goes and gets a top hat to match with his suit. A top hat that might be bugged by the Kingsman. Back at HQ, Eggsy's told by Arthur that he's very impressed with him, and then he's told to shoot his dog. But he's just too loyal, and he can't bring himself to do it. And in the other room, he could hear Roxy shoot her dog.
At least the girl's got balls.
And Roxy's officially the new Lancelot, and Eggsy is out. Over at Harry's house, he's quite angry at Eggsy for not shooting the dog.
Mr. Pickle here reminds me of that every time I take a shit.
shot your dog and had it stuffed.
No, I shot my dog and then I brought him home and continued to care for him for the next 11 years until he died of pancreatitis. It was a fucking blank.
Harry's like, stay here, I got spy stuff to do. Back over in the US at some church that's spewing Westboro Baptist vibes, Valentine is across the street getting ready to test out his plan. Harry's having enough of the hate speech though, and he's trying to leave. This lady stops him asking where he's trying to go, so he says this.
I'm a Catholic whore, currently enjoying Congress out of wedlock with my black Jewish boyfriend who works in a military abortion clinic. So hail Satan, and have a lovely afternoon, madam.
And now probably the most iconic scene of this movie starts. As this lady is yelling and calling him out in front of the entire church, drawing everyone's attention, the dial is slowly turned up by Valentine. And then Harry draws his gun on her, and with a final twist of the knob, and this fight has Freebird playing over it, so you know it's about to go crazy. Again, I highly recommend you watch this movie for the fights alone. God dang, some of these moments are just brutal. Just so freaking awesome. It's very clear that everyone's just going crazy aggressive fighting and can't control themselves. So the free microchips Valentine is giving away have the ability to make anybody in their vicinity go crazy aggressive, and Eggsy's watching all this go down through his stream. And as Harry's the last one standing, he leaves the church and is met with none other than Richmond Valentine.
In simple terms, it's a neurological wave that triggers the centers of aggression and switches off inhibitors.
And there's no way Harry's actually gonna die, right? Oh shoot. Eggsy goes to talk with Arthur at the tailor. Arthur pours him a drink, says he wants him to join him in a toast. Now Arthur thinks he's got him because he poisoned Eggsy's drink, because it turns out Arthur is actually in on it with Valentine. Then Arthur tries to kill him but accidentally kills himself. The idiot freaking switched the drinks around on him. Now Eggsy's basically in the Kingsman. Merlin appoints him as the new Galahad, so the two of them and Roxy fly out to Valentine's base. They then send Roxy, who had the most fear of parachuting, into space. Okay, goodbye. And now Eggsy's gonna go in Arthur's place to the facility. Doing some of that spy stuff, he finds that Swedish prime minister on a computer, quickly knocks him out, and tries to get access to the internet. But Charlie grabs him and puts a knife to his neck. Of course he's here.
Well, my family were invited. Obviously.
Calls over to Valentine, but then Eggsy takes him out, which kicks off a chase as Eggsy's running throughout the facility, taking out guards and trying to escape back to the plane. As Valentine tries to launch the attack on all the phones, a missile Roxy shot from space takes out one of the satellites in the chain. Mission accomplished. Well, not quite yet. They got someone else's satellite to go fill in the spot, so it's gonna be up and running again. Eggsy rearms himself and goes back in, taking out a ton of guards as he's trying to get to Valentine. But he's outmanned and outgunned. As a last resort, Merlin activates all the security implants.
Yes, please.
In a spectacle of lights and colors, everyone's heads start popping off. And it's shown all around the world, all the people that were corrupted. Valentine wasn't stupid enough to put one of those things in his own head, and he starts the attack. Everywhere around the world, everyone's fighting each other, going absolutely crazy. Eggsy's able to stop Valentine momentarily.
You did it!
But then he sends the lady with knives for feet, and they start fighting.
Kill that motherfucker! He killed all our friends!
And ironically, what ends up deciding the fight is the knife that he has on his own foot, the one that we got shown earlier in his shoe. It only took one little slice for the neurotoxin to quickly get her. He then uses her feet blades as a javelin and impales Valentine, getting his hand off the control and stopping the attack on civilization. Mission accomplished, for real this time.
What's up, man? The part where you say some really bad pun?
It's like you said to Harry. This ain't that kind of movie, bruv.
Perfect.
And he gets to get busy with that princess. And the end credit scene shows Eggsy finally standing up to Dean and smashing his face in like he said he would, just like Harry would have.
As a good friend once said, manners maketh man.
Your manners up your fuck.
So, are we gonna stand around here all day, or are we gonna fight?
And that's where the movie ends. I really enjoyed Kingsman: The Secret Service. Its storyline is really easy to follow, its characters are very charismatic, witty, and funny, and it does feel like a very genuine modern-day take on a spy movie, where the clashing of old school and new school come together to get the best of both worlds. And the action scenes, oh my god, the action scenes. Top-notch choreography. This is an incredibly well-directed movie, and I'm glad Taron Egerton, who played Eggsy, got his breakout role in this. Anyways, this movie gets 45 shoe knives out of 50.